in previous lecture we have completed the administrative principles of management, right? And today in our sixth lecture of the second chapter we are going to learn the Peter F. Drucker's contribution in the field of management, right? It's a small topic that whatever the contribution that has been made by Mr. Peter F. Drucker towards the development of the modern management. Then we are going to complete the nature of principles of management. Okay, so let's start with the contribution of Peter F. Drucker in the field of management, right? See, Peter F. Drucker was a famous managerial leader, right? And he was a writer and educator. The main contribution that has been given by Mr. Peter F. Drucker towards the modern management. Now, what is modern management? That is the year after 1960, right? That whatever the contribution that has been made, that is known as what? That is known as the modern management. Okay, right? And mainly, Peter F. Drucker has focused, or the main center point of the contribution of Peter F. Drucker is the human assets. That humans, they are the particular invaluable asset for any company or for any business unit, right? So he mainly focused on what? He mainly focused on those things. That humans, they must be what? They must be considered as the asset, not as the particular that that working machines or anything. Okay, so they need to be what? They need to be considered as the asset for the business, those who can what? Those who can give the maximum contributions towards the accomplishment of the business objective, right? And the main contribution of Peter F. Drucker towards the development of management, that is MBO, that is management by objective, and principle of self-regulations, right? See, as we have seen that management is a what? Management is a subject of a study, right? Experiment will be done, right? That we have seen the principles of Taylor, principle of Fayol, right? They have given their various contributions towards the development of the management or that handling of the management, right? But as the time being passed, obviously what is going to be there, that yes, there will be development in the field or in the subject of the that management, right? They have focused on that, how to develop the managerial skill, how to develop the productivity of the business. So same way, Peter F. Drucker has contributed towards the modern management by giving the two main principles, that is MBO, management by objective, and principle of self-regulation. Okay, now what is management by objective? That is there must be what? There must be a uniformity in the aim of whom? In the aim of the employees and managers, right? Okay, suppose for an example, that a company's aim is to what? Is to increase the productivity and to get the maximum output throughout the year. And the employee, a single person, individual, right? He is having a what? He is having that, they are having a objective of the personal development, the personality development, right? So there must be what? There must be a particular, that common goal must be there. There must be uniformity between these two. Okay, if I want to develop, then I need to what? I need to contribute towards the development of my company, towards the development of my organization, right? If I am contributing towards the development of my company, development of my organization, then what will be there? That obviously there will be what? There will be development of the company too. And me also as an employee, as an individual, I am also going to grow. I am also going to develop myself, right? If company is not developing, if the company is not getting the success, if the company is not getting the profit, then does company going to survive? No, company is not going to survive anyway. Okay, got my point? So there must be what? There must be a uniformity between the aim of the employee and the aim of the manager. They both must be working on the, they must working that they will be working on, or they will work on the same note, on the same way. Okay, and the managers, right? They must be considering all the employees as an equal and as a team. If this thing will be there, then obviously that will be what? There will be a success that a business is going to see. When the objective is at the center, when objective is given the more importance rather than any kind of individual, then the success ratio of business, it is going to what? It is going to increase, it is going to improve, right? And see, this thing that we can divide into the various parts also, right? The different units for the different business organization, it has been what? It has been proven very successful, Okay, like suppose for an example, a single company is there, a production department, marketing department, sales department, there are various departments they are working, right? But the departmental head, they are taking the task from the subdivision with the single objective. Okay, yes, production department, their objective is what? Their objective at least to start the production or to give the production of a quality things, right? And the target must be achieved. Sales department, they are going to what? They are going to have that objective of what? They are going to have the objective of increase the sale, right? So accordingly they are going to what? They are going to take task, they are going to take work from the subdivision. Okay, and this thing that has been proven very successful, right? That yeah, see, common goal, it will be there, but subdivisional goal, they are also going to play a very important role, right? That the leader, the manager must be having the same goal as the team. Okay, right? The team must be having what? The team must be having that much of a knowledge. Yes, we need to what? We need to achieve the goal that our manager want to, right? So he has more emphasis that is given on whom? On the common objective, that uniformity of the objective of managers as well as workers, right? And that is why he is known as what? He is known as the father of modern management. See, the father of scientific management, that is Mr. Frederick W. Taylor. Father of administrative principles of management or administrative management, that is Mr. Henry Fayol. And the father of modern management, that is Peter F. Drucker, right? See, there is nothing given about the principle of self-regulation, but self-regulation, that means what? Okay, the person who is coming into the organization, coming into the company, right? They must be, or that person must be what? That person must be have that principle of self-regulation. Okay, yeah, whether I'm being supervised or not, that if I'm not being that observed by someone, but I need to complete my task, I need to complete my work. And yes, by the end of the day, I need to produce at least 4 number of units or 8 number of units. That depends on what? That depends on the capability of a person, capability of a worker, right? And this principle is applicable for both, for manager also and for employee also, right? There must be what? There must be have that self-regulation. Okay, yes, I need to work, I need to complete the task, right? That, and self-regulation, it can be achieved through what? It can be achieved through self-discipline, right? If I am self-disciplined, I am completing my syllabus, I am completing my things, then obviously that is what? It is a self-regulation, whether I am being observed or not, right? Okay, like I am sitting in a staff room, right? I'm waiting for that upper management to call me and say, okay, yeah, you go in the class. No, I know my work, I know my task, I know my time, right? And at that time I will be what? I will be entering into the class, right? That is what it is, a self-regulation. I know my responsibilities, right? I know, okay, when I need to complete the syllabus, so I will complete that particular syllabus, or I will complete the task to that particular point of time. Okay, got my point, right? So the main contribution of Peter F. Drucker, that is mainly to management by objective and principle of self-regulation. Okay, and that is why he is known as what? He is known as the father of modern management. Don't get confused. Father of scientific management, that is Mr. Frederick W. Taylor. Father of administrative management, that is Mr. Henry Fayol. And father of modern management, that is Peter F. Drucker. Okay, right? This is the last topic in that it is there in the last page, right, after the administrative principles of management. Okay, right? Now we are going to see the nature of principles of management, right? I have taken this topic, this is the very next topic of after the concept of principles of management, but I have taken it to the last. Reason is that this principles of management, without knowing what are the principles of management, you are not going to understand what is the nature and importance of principles of management. Okay, so let's start with the nature of principles of management. First is universal acceptance. See, whenever there will be a collective effort, see, management is all about what? Management is all about a collective effort that we have seen in the very first chapter, right, in the concept of management. Okay, whenever the collective efforts will be there, these principles of management, they are going to play a very important role, right? And if they are universally accepted, that means there is no any kind of doubt whether there is any country, any field, like suppose for an example, religious field, educational field, or whatever, when the management will be there, obviously the principles of management, they are acceptable. That is a universal acceptance, right? Okay, whenever a person is going to think about a management, these principles of management, they are going to help. They are going to what? They are going to work out anyway, right? But the implementation of the principles, right, they depend on what? They depend on the type, form, activity and size of the business unit, right? See, as we have seen in the concept, right, that principles of management, they are what? Principles of management, they are the particular, depend upon what? Depend upon the that flexibility, right? That suppose for an example, if a size of a business is small, then principle of centralization will be applicable, and if size is large, giant size business, then the principle of decentralization that will be implemented, right? It does not like, you know, they are not rigid, they are not a particular pure science case, this thing need to be followed anyhow. No, they are flexible, right? And they are universally accepted. But what is the exception here? What is the main thing? What is the condition? That yes, it depends upon what? It depends on the type, form, activity and size of the business units, right? Or else they are universally accepted. Whenever we are going to think about the management, principles of management are going to play a very important role. Then they are flexible, that we have seen in the concept, right? They are not the rigid one, right? There is a scope for a change. What is flexible? Flexible, that means yes, there is some scope of change, right? That we have seen in the principle that is given by Mr. Taylor and Fayol, right? They have already suggested that if a person is coming and they are saying yes, there is a scope of improvement in the principles of the management, then it can be done. 8 principle that has been given by Mr. Taylor, then it was revised, it was newly introduced principles by whom? By the Fayol in administrative principles of management, right? Same way Peter F. Drucker, he contributed towards the what? He was contributed towards the modern management, right? So ultimately that has been what? That has been yes, there is a scope of a flexibility. So same way, that applicability of those principles into the various organization, that is what? That is also there. Flexibility is always there, right? And as I said, the principles of management, that applicability, that implementation of principles of management, that depends upon what? That depends on through the smartness of the manager, right? As per the situation, manager can what? Manager can apply the principle of management, right? That what kind of work distribution will be there, what kind of job description it will be there, right? What kind of remuneration that will be given to the particular person, that person must be there for a longer period of time or not, right? Every principle there will be what? There will be that flexibility will always be there in implementing, right? Then manager is allowed, right? For what purpose? To change the principle or to change that applicability, or to while implementing, if the manager found okay, yes, this principle is not going to work as per the given situation, then that principle can be changed. As I have given the example, right, that that a person can, but the person can having that if a small size business is that unit size of a business unit is small, then what they are going to do? They are going to apply the principle of centralization. If it is not, that success ratio of a principle of centralization, it is going to reduce when the business size is giant, that is the size is large, right? Then they are the general guidelines, right? See, when the business is going to commence, that managing a business, obviously there will be what? There will be a complex problem that are going to arise, that we have seen into the concept of the principles of management, right? Okay, when a question of a promotion that is going to arise, so the principles of management, they are going to help, that the particular manager, they are going to have a choice, okay, whether they are going to go for a promotion on the basis of the seniority or they are going to go for the merit, okay, right? So these various problems, when they are going to arise, the principles of management, they are going to what? They are going to help the manager out in managing those problems, right? And as the business units, they are different, that form and activity and a type of a business that is different, so various kind of problems that are going to arise, and when it will be there. So by implementing the principles of management, the results, it may vary, it may different, right? See, suppose I'm having that education field, then obviously that different kind of results that can be achieved, different kind of problems that are going to arise. If it is a manufacturing unit that is there, then obviously the various problems that are going to arise, and ultimately there will be a different type of concept, it will be there, different kind of results, right? Different problems, different solution, right? And different outcome, okay? But these are the general guidelines. Yes, if a problem is going to arise, suppose for an example, remuneration of a personnel, right? If a skilled person is there, then it is a universal thing. Yes, skilled person must be getting a higher amount of salary, higher amount of wages than the unskilled one, right? But sometimes if the person is working right from around 10 to 15 years, and on the basis of the seniority that person must be getting a promotion. Okay, so these are the general guidelines. If any kind of problem, if any kind of confusion that is going to arise, then it can be changed, it can be varied. Okay, right, and desired result can be achieved through implementing the principles of management as a general guideline, right. Principles of management are going to help. Suppose for an example, if I am going to manage the business, then I will be having around 22 principles and having a technique, right, that has been given by Mr. Taylor, Fayol and by Mr. Peter F. Drucker, right. I will be having the theoretical knowledge with me, right, yes, what kind of problems that can arise, how to create the harmonious relationship between the or interrelationship between the humans, right. See, these principles of management are directly connected with the human behavior, right. So humans, they need to control, they need to manage, okay, and when humans, they need to be managed, obviously there will be what, that guidelines that need to be there, and yes, desired result, it can be achieved, right, in a favorable situation. That, see, these are the guidelines only, they are not that that a rigid or a pure science, this need thing to be implemented, so desired result will be out, right. No, as per the different situation, as per the different technique, this principle should be implemented, and those principles can give a different kind of result to each and every person. Okay, but it depends on what, it depends on that particular intellectual capability of whom, intellectual capability of the person, of the manager, right, that how he is going to utilize the principles of management in the business unit. Okay, right. Then next, that is based on human behavior, that we have seen in the management also, right, that human is at the center, management is done by whom, management is done by the human, and it is done for the human, right. So when the principles of management that will be implemented, who is going to implement, that is human, and the person who are being implemented, the principles are being implemented on whom, that is also human, right. So it is going to directly contact, it is going to direct relation with whom, it is going to be direct relation with the humans, right. So human is at the center, right. So it is going to what, it is going to, principles of management are going to have a big impact, a big effect on whom, on the human behavior, right. Okay, see, that division of work will be there, then division of work must be what, division of work must be having taken the benefit of the specialization, right. If the specialization need to be achieved, then the division of work, that will be what, that will be given as per the mental and a physical ability of the person, right. But everyone, that every human, they are going to think what, they are going to think that they are the one who are very intelligent. Okay, everyone is intelligent, but the manager only knows what is the capability of the person, right. So if a person A and B, two person are there, right, and if person A is giving a more responsibility or given a more task rather than B, right, given a more salary and rather than compared to B, then obviously that person must be having that feeling of dissatisfaction, right. So human behavior, it is going to play a very important role, because they are the only one who are the living asset in the company. Okay, human resource, right. So they need to be maintained, they need to be there, but principles of management that will be implemented, so obviously it is going to what, it is going to directly impact the human behavior, right. And as I said, there is a what, there is a direct relationship between what, that principles of management, they have a direct relation with the human behavior or humans, right. And as human behavior, it is a what, it is a psychological phenomenon, right. That is why it is considered, it need to be considered, right. See, psychology, that is different from person, vary to vary, that thinking that is going to change from person to person, right. That few person, they will be happy with this kind of learning, right, when few people, they are feeling bored, right. Each and every person, they are not same, the thinking power, that is not same, and that mental capability, that is also not going to be same, right. A student can read once and they can remember, a person or other student, they are going to learn or they are going to read for 3 to 4 times, but they are not able to remember. That is what, that is a particular, that mental capability. Same way, the human behavior, that is also going to change from person to person. Few person, they are going to understand the language of love, while other, they are going to only understand the language of punishment, right. So while implementing those principles of management, the most important thing that a manager need to keep in mind, that is what, that is this, that human behavior need to be what, human behavior need to be taken into care of. They need to understand, manager need to understand that whatever the actions that they are going to take, obviously there will be reaction from what, reaction from those employees, reaction from the workers. Okay, Getting my point, right? So it is what, it is totally principles of management, they are based on what, they are based on the human behavior, right? Then next is contingency. What is contingency? That is the situation of emergency, that unavoidable circumstances that are going to arise in the company, right? So who is going to help out? That is the principles of management, right? Like achievement of goal, it becomes easy sometimes or many a times when the required decision that need to be taken with the help of what, with the help of a principles of management, when the unavoidable situation will be there, right? If you remember that, when I have taught you about that 5 principles of management, about this subrogation of individual interest to the general interest, right? That if a person is demanding a more salary than the budget of a company, then that thing need to be what, that thing need to be avoided, right? If employees are demanding more remuneration and they are going on a strike, this is the unavoidable situation, right? That is unexpected. So this thing need to be solved with the help of principles of management. Those who are skilled workers, they will be given more wages or more salary. If not, then they will be out of the company, dismissal will be there. So how this thing will be possible? That is through principles of management, okay, right? And what is the most important thing? That is criteria is what? Criteria is being a fair to each and every employee, right? There will be no biasness, there will be no prejudice, right? In the situation of contingency also, okay, right? That what kind of wages that they will be having, what kind of they will be getting the remuneration from their boss, right? What kind of authority that need to be assigned, right? See, this thing is also going to be there in the second principle that is given by Mr. Henry Fayol, that authority and the responsibility, right? We need to take into consideration that maturity of that person, though that person is senior but he is not mature enough, right? So do we have that power to give them that particular authority? No. Manager, they cannot give that authority anyway with the person who is having no any kind of leadership skill, no any kind of maturity. It is going to impact what? It is going to impact the person, okay, right? So in this unavoidable circumstances, that is in the situation of emergency, the principles of management, they are going to what? They are going to decide the behavior of the manager towards the employees, towards the workers, right? See, the nature of principles of management, it can also be asked as a characteristics of principles of management, okay, right? And contingency, it is the situation where the unavoidable circumstances are going to arise, and through principles of management this situation can be handled properly, okay, clear, right? So this is it for today. We are going to have the importance of principles of management in the next lecture, and the various behavior related theory or thoughts, behavior related thoughts, classical theory, neoclassical theory and the modern thoughts, okay, right? Thank you.